Well, good evening. My name is Timothy Head, and I am the executive director for our national organization, which happens to also be based here. And it is a treat for me. It's fun for us to do these events in our hometown here in Atlanta because honestly, it's a bit of an embarrassment of riches. We just heard from Governor Kemp earlier this evening, and thank you so much, by the way, to my own personal great friend, Bruce Thompson, who's been doing a great job as labor commissioner. And I'm so encouraged to see just the life of faith that he continues to live out, both in his public life as well as his private life. Similarly, in this public and his private life, our next speaker has been an excellent, I would say a pristine example of a public servant for years now across the state of Georgia. And I think it's more and more of us across the country are recognizing the significance of our positions of law enforcement. This is a major position of a ton of discretion, a ton of judgment, that it's really, really important for people not only to have the correct kind of worldview and policy positions, but also to show the right demeanor and the right kind of wisdom to be able to decide what to do in really complicated, sometimes nuanced situations. And our next speaker has demonstrated that time and time again as one of our champions, not only around issues that we hold dear around life, religious liberty, certainly around issues related to Israel as a nation state, but also Jews that are our Jewish brothers and sisters that live here in Georgia and Metro Atlanta. Our next speaker has been a significant and consistent champion of those individuals that have really needed a champion, especially in the last year. So I would just ask you to join me in welcoming the Attorney General of Georgia, Chris Carr.
Tim, thank you. Good evening, everybody. I want to Tim, what an honor it is to be here. You and Mac, Ralph, thank you for all that you do. As I've said before, Ralph knew me when I had hair, and it's an honor to continue to be here. You know, every single morning, the activists in the Harris-Biden administration wake up and literally invent new ways to get sued by Republican AGs, literally. And we take them up on it, my friends. And I brought a little card so I don't forget any. Let's talk first, Title IX. Instead of, as Senator Vance said, dealing with record inflation, crime in blue cities and blue states, the immigration crisis and securing our border, what has the Harris and Biden administration chosen to prioritize? Destroying women's sports, ensuring that biological men can compete against women, and making sure that boys can use the girls' bathroom. Well, we sued and we won. Why? Because as I've said before, that's right, go ahead. Because in Georgia, we don't see our kids as science experiments or social experiments or political theories. We see them as children, and they need to be protected. And I am proud that, as Governor Kemp talked about, we have stood up and we defended the Life Act. Why? Because in Georgia, we believe in the dignity, the value, and the worth of every human being, and we believe that an unborn child and her mother deserve to be protected. 3 times, my friends, 3 times the Biden administration have tried to take money out of your pocket, out of the pockets of electricians and plumbers or your favorite wait staff at Waffle House to pay for the student loans of doctors and lawyers. We said no. We sued them, and we've won. Agriculture is the #1 industry in the state of Georgia, and the Biden-Harris administration wanted to make it easier to unionize farm workers and mandated wage increases on American and Georgia farmers. We sued, and we won. Now, we are all here because we are people of faith. And as Senator Vance talked about, I believe that you have the right to freely exercise your religion as you see fit. So whether it's prayer in school, prayer at a public meeting, a cross that is in a public, is in a veteran's cemetery, whatever it may be, you should have the right to do that, and we're going to continue to defend it. And let me say this. I am proud that in Georgia, we are proud to stand shoulder to shoulder with our friends in the state of Israel and our Jewish friends and neighbors. On October the 7th, we saw the face of evil. That evil was Hamas terrorists coming across the border into Israel, and we have seen groups of pro-Hamas activists on our college campuses. And I want to say this, I'm proud of how our state's dealt with it. You have a right to peacefully assemble, and I'm a bold, underline, and italicized peaceful, but you do not have a right to take over a university or a building or stop students from learning or taking exams, and you certainly do not have a constitutional right to threaten a student because of his or her religion or where they are from. Not in the state of Georgia, and we're standing up against it. And finally, Kamala Harris is the patron saint of leftist prosecutors. Don't let the ads fool you. She is for defunding the police and sanctuary cities and cashless bail. She wants to do to Georgia and to America what she did to California, but we're saying no. We actually go after violent criminals. We go after human trafficking, and we go after fentanyl dealers because we think it's the right thing to do. You want to talk about undermining democracy, Ralph? What they like to do is just ignore the laws that they don't want to enforce. That undermines democracies. Elections have consequences, my friend. So from this frequently mass attending, high propensity Catholic voter, let's get out and vote. Early voting starts in October, and let's get out and make sure that we win up and down the ballot on November the 5th. God bless you. God bless your families. God bless our state and great nation. Thank y'all.